Hi, Andrew here, and lately I've had to practice the practice. Practice the practice, Andrew? What in God's name are you talking about? I spoke in my last video about how it has been a struggle for me to get back into shape because I've lost the habit of regular exercise. And this is foreign to me. I've always loved to exercise. I love to burn calories. I love to feel the endorphin rush, the runner's high. And it doesn't have to be from running. You can get it from any vigorous exercise. But I've always loved that. And I find myself out of the habit of exercise. And so part of, I alluded to this with the, in the last video, with the New Year's resolution conundrum, that you resolve to do this big thing, whatever it is, but you never get into it. You never succeed at, the vast majority of the time, you don't succeed at it because you start and something gets in the way and you stop and you pause, and then you start again and then something gets in the way and you pause, and then you start again, and then it just sort of tapers off. And it's because you don't have the habit of the thing that you want to do. You want to lose weight, but you don't have the habit of healthy eating and exercise. You want to get in shape, but you don't have the habit of healthy eating and exercise. This can be for anything. I am sitting outside my son's piano lessons again on Thursday night, again, waiting for them to complete their lessons again. Have you heard this song before? I have two sons who are taking piano. One of them is remarkably talented. He's got tremendous hand-eye coordination and reflexes, which makes him a natural athlete. And this translates very, very well into playing the piano. Once he'd learned to read the music, once he knew what those dots and lines on the page meant, he just took off. It was great. But he didn't have, as a very talented guy, both athletically and intellectually, he's never really had to work super hard at something to get to be at least pretty good at it. His best friend tells me that he doesn't do anything in math class, and the kid's the top student or number 2 student in the class. He's running an A+. This is not because he's a hard worker. It's because he's good at it. He's talented at it. But he's getting up. He's in the levels in the Royal Conservatory grade books, and it's no longer enough that he can just sit down and play the piece and his natural talent will take him through. And he struggles. He requires constant reminders and nagging to get to the piano. I have to keep an eye on the time to make sure that he does a sufficient practice. We have it sawed off that he's going to do a half an hour a day. He doesn't like doing a full half hour, so he goes twice and he does 2 15-minute practices. But as often as not, or maybe even more often than not, I have to tell him, okay, son number, that was 7 out of 15. You owe me another 8 minutes. Okay, that was 4 more. You owe me another, and on to the end. And he gets frustrated and he hates being nagged at, and he loves being able to play the pieces, but he wants it to be easy. Well, it's no longer easy. And his problem is he doesn't have the habit of practice. And so for him, one of the things that he has to do is practice the practice. He has to practice picking a time, blocking out 15 minutes, sitting down, putting a timer on, and playing, practicing, keep on doing his scales and his pieces, etc., for that 15 minutes. It's something he's working on. Other boy is progressing just as fast. He's not as talented, but he is a very determined little boy. Well, not a little boy anymore. He's a very determined young man, and he already has the habit of doing of practice. He doesn't have to practice the practice. He can just do the practice. Well, that is one of your barriers when you're trying something new. And for me, getting back in shape was something new. And because I'd lost the habit, I was out of practice. I needed to practice the practice. And part of that was to pick an exercise, the walk, the daily walk, that had a low barrier. It wasn't overly vigorous. It wasn't giving me delayed onset muscle soreness. It wasn't leaving me gasping for air. You know, like that last 300 or 400 yards of my run when you get there and it's you're dying and sweat's dripping. No, I get a good vigorous walk. I get a good aerobic workout, but I don't go so hard as to burn out the body so that the next day I'm all stiff and sore and I can't go. That's a barrier. I'm doing it to avoid those barriers, to not give myself extra barriers. And in the process, I'm also saying every day at 11:45, I will begin to prepare. And between 11:50 and noon, I will head out, whether it's from the office or whether it's from my home office. I will head out and I will begin and I will walk between 2 and 3 kilometers. I've gone as low as about 1.9. I've gone as high as about 2.8. But I will put in that 2.5 kilometer walk, and I will do it every day, and I will redevelop that habit. By creating this routine, by creating a practice, I'm practicing my practice. It has been remarkably effective because I've punched through a couple of barriers, and it's no longer a tremendous chore to exercise. I am getting in better shape. I know I'm getting in better shape. I've got the measurements of heart rate and breathing rate and calories burned and all of that stuff. But as important as the physical benefits and the mental health benefits, subject of another video, as important as those benefits are, perhaps the most important benefit is by practicing the practice, I am redeveloping the habit so that I'm no longer fighting myself to get out and do that which needs to be done and that which, damn it, I like doing. And that was one of the hardest things, was finding out that something that I really love to do, I could no longer motivate myself to do it. So I got myself back to it. Keep coming back to it. Practice the practice. So, thanks for watching. Give me a like, a subscribe, drop a comment, share if you think there's something of value here. That was my time. Now it's your time. And in the meantime, take care of yourself, and you'll see me soon.